Every 4 years, tens of billions of dollars move through the World Cup. And every 4 years, almost the same small group of players walks away richer, while the cities that hosted are left counting the cost. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly who gets rich from the World Cup, how the machine is built, and why it is one of the most lopsided deals in global business. Start at the top. FIFA. The organization that owns and runs the tournament is set to collect around $13 billion this cycle. It is a non-profit in name, but it operates like one of the most profitable media companies on Earth, with a product the entire planet wants to watch at the same time. FIFA's biggest single source of money is not what you might think. It is not tickets. It is broadcasting. The rights to televise the World Cup are worth close to $4 billion. Whoever wants to show the games, anywhere in the world, pays FIFA for the privilege. That is the golden goose. Second comes sponsorship, worth around $1.8 billion. Think about what those brands are actually buying. For 1 month, their logo stands beside the most watched event in human civilization, in front of billions of people across nearly every country. There is no other advertising buy on Earth quite like it. Third is tickets and hospitality, worth about $3 billion in 2026, more than triple what it was in Qatar. And here is the key detail. FIFA captures that ticket revenue directly. The host cities, who paid to build and secure the stadiums, mostly do not share in it. Now meet the second group of winners, the broadcasters and streamers. They pay FIFA billions for the rights, then make their money back selling advertising against the largest live audience that exists. For a network, the World Cup is a month-long license to print money, if they bid high enough to win it. Third winner, the sponsors and global brands. Soft drinks, payment networks, airlines, technology giants. They pay a premium to be the official something of the World Cup because the exposure is unmatched. Their return is measured in global brand value, and they have done the math many times over. And then there is the newest and maybe the biggest winner of all, the sportsbooks. The 2026 World Cup is projected to be the largest gambling event in human history, with a global betting handle around $60 billion. The books do not bet on teams. They take a cut of every wager. That cut, on that volume, is billions in near-guaranteed profit. So that is the winner's table: FIFA, broadcasters, sponsors, and sportsbooks. Now look at who is not sitting at it: the host cities. They take on the costs: stadiums, security, transport, policing. Often well over $100 million each, with very little of FIFA's revenue flowing back. Total host spending across the 3 countries is estimated at around $14 billion. FEMA alone put $625 million into U.S. security. Toronto's bill hit $380 million. Canada's national support topped $1 billion Canadian dollars. That is the price of admission to host, and the city pays it whether or not the boom arrives. And the other group not at the winner's table? The fans, the very people the sport exists for. With dynamic pricing, tickets ran from $60 up to $6,730 for the final. Many lifelong supporters are simply priced out of the stadium their tax dollars helped pay to secure. Step back, and the structure is unmistakable. The profits are privatized, and the costs are socialized. A handful of global players lock in revenue before kickoff. The public carries the risk and the bill. It is not a scandal or a conspiracy. It is simply the business model, and it works flawlessly every 4 years. Could it be different? In theory, yes. Hosts could negotiate a share of revenue, cap their spending, or refuse to build new stadiums. Some cities are starting to push back, and a few have walked away from bidding entirely. But as long as the prestige of hosting is irresistible, FIFA holds all the leverage. So the next time you hear that the World Cup is an economic gift to its hosts, remember the table. Ask who collects the broadcasting billions, who keeps the ticket money, who takes the sponsor checks, and who profits from the bets. Then ask who is left holding the construction loans and the security invoices. The trophy goes to the best team on the field. The money goes to the people who built the machine off it. Understand that one sentence and you understand the entire economics of the World Cup. If this was useful, subscribe. And at valventus.com, we help e-commerce brands actually use AI to sell more. To see how cleanly the money is divided, follow a single dollar of broadcast revenue. A network in some country pays FIFA for the rights to show the games. FIFA banks that money in Zurich. The network recovers it by selling ads to brands desperate to reach a national audience. At no point does that dollar pass through the host city's treasury, even though the host city paid to build and secure the stadium where the football is actually played. The value is created locally and captured globally. Sponsorship works the same way. A global brand pays FIFA around $1.8 billion to be an official partner. In return, it gets its logo beside the most watched event on the planet and the right to market itself as part of the World Cup. That money flows to FIFA, not to the cities hosting the matches. The host provides the stage. FIFA sells the tickets to stand on it. Now consider the newest and fastest growing seat at the winner's table. The sportsbooks. With a projected global betting handle around $60 billion, the gambling industry may extract more value from this World Cup than ever before. And crucially, the books take their cut regardless of who wins on the field. They are not fans hoping for a result. They are toll collectors on a river of wagers. And the river has never been wider. There is one more quiet winner that rarely gets named: the financial and hospitality intermediaries. The agencies that package premium experiences. The brokers who work the resale market. The consultants who advise on bids and budgets. Around every mega event grows an ecosystem of specialists who extract fees from the complexity. They produce little that lasts, but they are reliably paid every cycle for helping the money move. Against all of these winners stands the host city taxpayer, who is the structural loser of the model. They fund the stadium upgrades, the transport, the policing, and the security. They take on debt that can last decades. And they receive, in return, a month of football and a hope of indirect tourism benefit that the evidence says usually under-delivers. They are not at the table where the revenue is divided. They are the table. The fans are the second structural loser, and that is the cruelest part. The sport exists because of them. Their passion is the raw material that makes the broadcast rights worth $4 billion and the sponsorships worth $1.8 billion. And yet, under dynamic pricing, many of them are squeezed out of the stadium entirely, replaced by whoever can pay the most. The people who give the event its value are increasingly priced out of experiencing it. Why does this structure persist if it is so lopsided? Because FIFA holds something close to a monopoly. There is only one World Cup and only one organization that controls it. Cities compete against each other for the privilege of hosting, which hands all the negotiating leverage to FIFA. When buyers compete and the seller is unique, the seller sets the terms. That is not corruption. It is just market power, exercised perfectly. Could host cities push back? In principle, yes. They could demand a share of revenue, refuse to build new stadiums, cap their security spending, or simply decline to bid. And a few cities and even countries have started walking away from mega event bids, precisely because the math no longer convinces their voters. Every time a serious host says no, FIFA's leverage weakens slightly. Collective restraint is the only real check on the model, and it is rare. It is worth being fair to FIFA on one point. The organization does redistribute some money back into football development around the world. Grants to national federations, investment in the women's game and youth programs, support for smaller countries that would never generate this revenue alone. That redistribution is real and matters. But it is a fraction of the total, and it does not change the basic fact that the host cities carrying the costs are not the primary beneficiaries. Step back, and you can see the same pattern in almost every large-scale entertainment business. Value is created by many, captured by few. The artists fill the stadium. The platform keeps the data. The drivers move the riders. The app keeps the margin. The World Cup is the purest sporting version of this dynamic, and once you recognize it, you start seeing it everywhere money and attention concentrate. So the next time someone calls the World Cup a gift to its host nations, run the test we just built. List the winners: FIFA, broadcasters, sponsors, sportsbooks, intermediaries. List the payers: taxpayers and priced-out fans. Then ask which group the speaker belongs to. The answer usually tells you everything about why they are calling it a gift. Because understanding who gets rich is not about cynicism. It is about clarity. The World Cup will be glorious, and that glory is worth something real. But glory and profit are distributed by completely different rules. The trophy is won on the field by merit. The money is divided off it by leverage. Keep those two scoreboards separate in your mind, and you will never be fooled by a mega event again. There is a useful way to test who really wins. Ask which players in the system take on risk and which are guaranteed their return. FIFA locks in broadcast and sponsor money before kickoff, regardless of how the tournament goes. The sportsbooks profit on volume, no matter the results. The host city, by contrast, commits its spending up front and only hopes the indirect benefits arrive. Guaranteed returns flow to the few. Risk flows to the many. This is why the language around mega events matters so much. Words like legacy, impact, and opportunity are doing real work. They reframe a financial transfer as a civic gift, and they make it politically difficult to say no. Once you notice the vocabulary, you start to hear it everywhere. A powerful organization wants the public to fund something whose rewards it intends to keep. The World Cup is just the most glamorous example. And yet the appeal endures, because humans do not live by balance sheets alone. The pride of hosting, the unity of a shared national moment, the image of a country welcoming the world, these are genuinely valuable, and it is reasonable to pay something for them. The danger is only in pretending they are profit. Call it what it is, a costly celebration with intangible rewards, and at least the public can decide with open eyes.